Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this oracle, to this medium, however you want to see it as, okay? And I'm going to give it to you straight one more time. That, of course, my beautiful people, it is all in the spirit of love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have the angels of abundance. And we are ready. We are ready. I did a couple of shorts earlier, but when I come live, I share a little bit more, And so, yeah, I just like to come on live and just express, first of all, the gratitude for all you subscribers that are here, and I appreciate the comments. If you like the video, great. If you understand the energy, great. I appreciate that. Seeing is believing, and sometimes it takes us a little longer, but I appreciate the comments, the likes, the shares, and your comments are very important so I can understand what kind of energy you're looking for. And so, yeah, just to make things a little bit more comfortable for you, because if it was easy, we wouldn't be doing it, right? So let's go ahead from Aries to Pisces in that order, and then I'll tap into the tarot cards and let's see what the angels of abundance have for you guys. And so, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go ahead. Sending love, light to you all. Shout out to the deep blue sea and all my land fans. Okay, so let's go ahead. Thank you. Let me just put a little thank you and welcome. And I had a whole script and welcome to. I had a whole script set up for you guys, but I'm not scripts. I don't like scripts. I mean, and so when the energy comes in, it's different. When you click on and you engage, when unseen life force, high vibrational beings, there is no script. I mean, welcome to the channel. So I'm gonna try to get a little routine going because it's necessary as far as me saying something, right? Like, but my niche is every niche. So welcome to the channel. It is August 17th. Blessed, beautiful Sunday. From Aries to Pisces. Let's go ahead and see the angels of abundance one more time. That, of course, it's in the spirit of love and the same spirit of gratitude, this appreciation and love for you all. I appreciate you. And, from the deep blue sea to the land down under the underworld. Here we go. Same thing, right? Because it's the circle of life. So, Aries, release resentments about money. Okay, Aries? Yes, the money system of the world can seem upsetting. Okay? So, but holding resentments about finances just pushes your abundance away. Instead, see money as a tool, as an energy exchange. All right? And especially spiritual, because we say in God we trust. So you don't put the trust on people, you put the trust on God. If that's your thing, if you're not an atheist or anything, if you understand the law of attraction, how it works. But anyway, my here is just to give you the message. And if I see a little something beyond this, then I'm going to, just share some knowledge with you, Aries, okay? But like if we're trying to manifest something that we can, like once you manifest that energy, once you set that into motion, right? Because the law of attraction, like attract like, and whatever you focus on, that's what you're going to attract more of. So you don't chase behind it. You just place yourself in those places, situations, and that's what you get the opportunities, the breakthroughs, right? The creativity and everything else that comes with that. The opportunities will be there. You just show up, and this is what we call divine intervention, whether you believe it or not. But anyway, in it or not, it says see money as a tool that you can use to better the world, and this shift will help you attract support and golden opportunities. Okay, so a lot of times we get resentful because maybe we have more money. All right, so I'm seeing this in a different way. Maybe you have more money than other people, and right, and you want to share more and do more, but do you do more? All right. That could be such a resentment as well. All right. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to manifest what I tell my clients aside of here, what I tell people that I engage with on a daily basis, right, is that if you set a goal and you define your professional goals and a purpose in mind, right? Because remember, your mind's creating the things that you want, right? So it's heart and mind coherence. But the bottom line is that you don't go chasing behind it. It's like a person. If you're trying to manifest a person, you just don't go chasing behind them. Like, let's say you break up with somebody and you want them back. You don't chase behind them. You wait. This is when your friend says to you, oh, you know what? Just leave them. Don't worry about it. Just once you stop looking for them, they'll come back. Something like that to help you understand it a little bit easier. But anyway, continue to pray, continue to manifest. This is you communing with God, the universe, right? And understand that it's created for you the opportunities now, not in the past, not structures from the past, and not possibilities for the future. The universe creates in the now. So if you're worrying about now, you're pushing away the same thing that you asked for. So just be very mindful of that. Practicing mindfulness, taking some time during the day to meditate or couple of deep breaths here and there. It's going to help you relax and have an understanding that, you know what, life is impermanence. We go through the circle of life, and understanding that we get tools. As we get older, we get more tools. Okay? And it's all about our skill development, right? We're constantly learning and growing. So let's go ahead to Taurus. Taurus, you have ask your friends, ask for your needs to be met, Taurus. All right? So God and the angels can come to your aid only if you make a free will. Remember, we have free will, right? They won't intervene if you don't ask, like different angels, different assignments to us, different purposes. So because you have free will, it's your choice. Like, do you go and surrender and ask for help, right? Or you try to figure it out on your own. And it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do. The same holds true with clearly asking other people to assist you as well. Okay. Let's go ahead with Gemini. Gemini, do the work, Gemini. You have to do the work. So Gemini, the problem is this, that you have to learn how to stop. Well, I'm going to just tell you what they say. Superficial information. You have to be willing to go deep to get because a lot of times we do what's level surface, and then we miss a lot of, other things that are important. All right. So it's not enough to dream or pray. It's great to dream. Great dreams come. Your non-physical realities there. And when you pray in your community, you ask and you don't beg. You pray like a lover, like a warrior, right? And the universe starts creating the things that you want, right? So you also got to take it the positive and keep your mind positive. Actions says that we're being divinely guided. We are being guided. It's all in the guidance and encouragement. That sensation that you feel, that unseen life force, that energy that comes in and make things like, wow. Even if it goes from getting dressed in the morning, wow, I got my whole outfit together in such a little time. Those are my angels. They're always with me. And so sometimes I'm like, listen, y'all do it. And my day goes so easy. And I know that's really hard and it's very abstract to understand and for me to even explain when it's this unseen life force that is with you when you ask, when you commune, when you ask for that assistance, right? Even if it comes in the form of somebody else, they're always ready, willing, and able to help. Okay? So in whatever form you believe in, okay? I'm not trying to push angels or religion on no one. That's not my purpose. My purpose is simply to inform you that you have other resources available to you and that you have finances available to you. That when you tap into an energy, right? And when you see synchronicities and opportunities, that is them guiding. Hey, listen, but sometimes we got to be open, communicate. We got to be able to do the work. All right. Anyway, consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. All right, consistently. But consistently doesn't mean every day, all day around the clock. That's not what consistency means. Consistency means that you do it on a regular basis, that you stay with it, that no matter what happens, no matter what emotions, no matter what happens, well, of course, if you're going through a, tragic loss, of course, those things are set aside, but you stay with it. It's like let me see if I could explain it. Like you have, like glue, you pour glue on a rock and it sticks and it covers it, right? That is consistent. That holds. You have to do something to that, okay? Or even a mold. If you mold something, it gets a beauty. You got a beautiful a pottery out of it, right? You mold it. You stay consistent. You don't drop it and be like, oh, it's gonna become a mess. Or even like the butterfly, the chrysalis, the cocoon. It's patient. It waits. It goes through this transformation of rebirth, right? And it becomes something new, something better, something more meaningful as part of our evolution. But anyway, just you know, and remember, the secret actions are your powerful thoughts. All right, that is the secret. The sword. Let's go ahead with Cancer. Cancer, we have successful funding, crowdfunding, partnerships. Excuse me if I can't really say that word. Crowdfunding, partnerships, and other investments are available to you. Your ideas are divinely guided and supported by the same infinite wisdom of God that gave you the idea. Do not allow money concerns to prevent you from turning it into a reality, Cancer. All right. So there you go. Let's go ahead with Virgo. Virgos, you got an abundance mindset, Virgo. You got to be very careful, because if you think of your abundance as something that has happened in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. Okay, Virgo, you got to see it, you got to feel it. And why not, Virgo? You got an incredible mind. You have to put it in thought. You have to visualize the money. Okay? Feel it and see, think, and then speak it. Your words casting spells. You got to understand that Virgo is one of the most powerful signs that be able to manifest money quickly, and they don't use that ability. You're mental, sharp. All right? So it's how you feel. Well, if you feel some kind of way, you're not going to act on it, because then you're preventing for the same thing that you're trying to manifest. So to making sure that you have a pragmatic approach to it, right? You cannot go sway and stop doing it, manifesting or holding that thought in your mind. You got to consistently having that thought, and you will experience it. And the universe creates in the now, not I want for the future, right? Or I wish. No, you have it now. It's creating what you want now. You don't like a sheep. I want. That's just not the way it works. All right. And the way you speak, all right, keeping your mind sharp, away from negative influence, right? And away from worry and this is not gonna happen. When is it gonna happen? Or being impatient. You have to have a level of surrender, right? Because remember, you're dealing with the mind. The infinite mind, your mind is connected. It's endowed with spiritual power, right? That means the connection to here, the cosmos, this black antimatter, this fundamental building block of everything, right? But anyway, we're connected to this quantum physics is theory, right? What Einstein had theory of relativity, and that proved to be right. So it's good to be a little theoretical, all right? Maybe a little bit ideal and understand, because like if you don't really understand the after the way things work, it's good to get a mentorship. But anyway, think about abundance, okay, as a tool, right? And that start shaping your reality. Because if you think about having abundance or money just to take care of the things that you want, like to buy the things that you need, you got to think about it like, man, I'm supposed to be living in abundance. So keeping that thought in your mind first thing, but not putting a cap on it that the only thing you focus is on that, because then you want to focus on your passions as well, pursuing your passions while you keep your mind in an abundance mindset. All right, so delicate balance between that. But anyway, so of abundance as something that you already have, as in the present moment, that it is exactly what you would experience. But if you start thinking, oh, it's not going to happen, oh, I don't see it's taking too long, then you start worrying. All right, it takes time, it takes practice. This is what your practical nature is all about, practicing until you get it right. All right, having a practical approach, being pragmatic, not wishful thinking, right, which is good, depending on where you at, what you're dealing with, and idealistic, getting carried away. Wow, I wish I have it. You can't think I wish you have it, and you just keep exercising that. All right, so it's like what is it called? I forgot the word, but anyway, let's go ahead. All right, so we're gonna go into Leo. When we focus on the important things. Leo, you got bountiful nature. Spending time in nature helps shift you to a high vibrational and reminds you of God's infinite abundance. Go outside and enjoy a walk or hike with your pet. Meditate beneath a tree, garden, or sit under the stars, or do some activity to connect with the limitless vastness of the universe, right? So there is a vast consciousness, a vast uh, energy of consciousness waiting to be discovered. So when you sit under a star, you basically connected something to higher than you. So you understand that there's something more, right? And there that you have your beliefs, you have your core care values. You know, when you enjoy nature, you're connected with all. You get the free electrons from the earth. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But just take some time to understand that you're connected to many, many more, many other things, right? Just to keep it in that sense. All right, let's go ahead with we got Leo. We're gonna go to Oh no, wait. It was first. Oh, I did it backwards. It was supposed to be Leo and then Virgo. All right, but it doesn't matter. Now we're gonna go to Libra. Libra, you have clean food energy. Remember, a lot of our gut, the enzymes that are in there, which I can't really talk to you about that stuff, but you have to go. A lot of times it messes with our brain function. All right. I mean, you could go Google this up. All right. A healthy gut and clean food is very important. So when you fill your body with a healthful organic diet, it doesn't have to be organic. It's better because it has less pesticides. You increase your energy levels and ability to focus. The healthy gut, the bacteria. All right. Uh, so this automatically leads to more efficiency, better ideas, and a higher vibrational state. This attracts golden opportunities and beneficial relationships. All right. So be careful with what you're eating. Let's go ahead. How to have that balance between, because we need a little sweet. We need a little treat. You don't have to overindulge, It's good to for self-preservation, right? You don't want to diet and be all, malnourished, right? Because then it's the same thing. It affects your food. So having a balance between, you know, food, moderation, everything in moderation, cutting back calories and things like that. You don't have to calorie count. But anyway, at the end of the day, try to eat clean and healthy foods that are processed meats and all that, sandwiches, bread, a lot of yeast. I could go on and on. I could go on and on in this. But let's go ahead. Scorpio, focus on your priorities, Scorpio. I'm going to show it to you, then I'm going to read it to you. Scorpio, where you put your focus is where you receive your outcome, okay? So your priorities are according to you, which may produce a feeling of anxiety unless you give them the time and attention they and you deserve. So even a small amount of time devoted to your priorities will help you feel better and more confident. All right. Let's go ahead to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, decluttered. All right. So Sagittarius, you feel better and more focused if you take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Maybe you have a lot of items that you don't use, all right, that are still in good condition. Donate those and be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. Just because, see, this is the time it is here, right? Even if, because a lot of times we see our schedule empty, we feel like we're bored or we don't got a life. No, this is the time for you to do something for yourself. Wow, my schedule is clear. Wow, don't see that's like, oh, I don't have a social life, or it's so more important, or nobody loves you, or you don't have, there's something wrong with you, you're doing something different. This is a time to see that's freedom. Wow. Okay, this is what you represent, freedom, because you might get so caught up busy in life and doing a lot of activities and doing things, running businesses, going to work, keeping a schedule, that you might forget that, wow, an uncluttered calendar is really, really good because it's going to give me time to do the things that I want to do. Okay. That doesn't mean, you could have halves and halves. You could go and have a great time, and then clean your closet out if that's what it is. Get rid of old pictures, coats, and stuff that you don't wear. Donate to the poor. Donate to the needy. Declutter is what they're telling you, and declutter your calendar. Make space, because if you're kind of cluttered, you're not gonna have time for the blessings that are gonna come in. Okay, you're not gonna know how to spend it wisely, how to manage. All right, so it's very important to declutter. All right, so let's go ahead. This can be a mental declutter as well. All right, it doesn't have to be physical. That has to be in that sense. But let's go ahead. Yeah, Capricorn, because I did it. I this was Virgo, and it kind of threw me off. Capricorn, God is your source. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, and your faith opens the doorway to receive. In God, there is no lack or limitation. Rather, there is plenty of abundance for all to share. Okay? I would like to talk about this card. I remember one time or 2 years ago, I have gave my dispatcher. I gave him a nice little Christmas gift. Anyway, I'll talk about it some other time. Never mind, because why this card is there. But anyway, I gotta leave that alone. I gotta say that. Anyway, listen, God is your source. However you connect with God, however you understand God. All right. So there's plenty to go around. There's no need to be greedy. There's no need to fight or thinking that you're gonna have. That just pushes the energy away. So like say somebody give you some, say, listen, you should donate half of it, right? And you don't do that, then that's really low energy. So you're not gonna get nothing. Like you need to understand the law of attraction. That's just the way it works. I know, because your earth sign, and your pragmatic approach and your practicality and the way you understand things is different. Because the Knight of Pentacles is a very kind of unique energy, right? Which is his pragmatic approach to life. He probably prioritizes his career, right? He's all about the quantity, how much he could get, and building and supportive and all that stuff. But you're not looking at the big picture, all right? You're just focusing on your little box, on what's good for you, when you need to approach life with a different lens, all right? I mean, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Everything that's real is not really real. Like you know what I mean? Like there's things that you might not be able to understand. That's the way the laws of the universe. That's just how basically it works. Aquarius, blackout distractions. Aquarius, your life purpose and other priorities need your undivided attention. So it is time for you to take charge of your schedule and working environment by turning off electronics. Okay, Aquarius, you're probably constantly on your phone, searching, texting, looking, and that's a distraction. You need to put those devices away. If you're trying to create a different lifestyle than the one you have now, you're gonna have to put them away. Even if you have already a good life, even if you already made a good name for yourself, and you got if you feel like you settled already, you're good, right? But you got to remember health issues, all right? And of course, emotional distress, okay? Because you can see other people, doing things and having things. So can you. It's going to keep you basically stuck for a while, all right? So you need to black out those distractions and avoiding anyone or anything that distracts you from what's important. You already know that what these distractions are, and you have the power and responsibility to block them out. All right. Don't feed the energy. Remember, you're keeping that alive. Even in the spirit realm here, through social media, energy is energy. Okay. So that is up to you, Aquarius. Let's go ahead to Pisces. Pisces, organized for success. So Pisces, don't let the word organize intimidate you, as it is simply a way for you to ensure clarity or purpose. Okay, like setting those goals and then like doing it and breaking them down to achievable milestones. Because you might get carried away when it's, oh God, The universe is not organized. It's not compromised of organized energy. All right. So when you get these pentacles, when everything seems, which is great to be methodical and have like log in and orderly, systematically, right? That doesn't happen in thought, never. All right, because before you know, you're breaking things apart, putting things back together. It's exhausting to think that life is like that. Life is, God doesn't work like that. The universe, God is everywhere, and each time in different realms, to different people, is working simultaneously through different areas. So nothing is right. So like life is not a progression of a progression of a disease like cancer, or it's not a straight railroad, right? It's just no ending and no beginning. Okay, this is why we got the circle of life. All right, the virtuous circle of life. So anyway, so don't let that intimidate you. Organize means what? To get your thoughts, your reports, your living and workspace, and your finances will help you know and plan for the next actions to take. Okay, so you organize a little bit of your thoughts, your reports, right? Log in a little bit, your living and workspace, tidy it up, right? And your finances, and it will help you know and plan your next action steps. All right, just a little tweak here and there, because once you do a lot of work, and by the time you come back, be like, man, I still got to do that again. Damn, didn't I just clean that? It's gonna drive you absolutely nuts. But if you do one good, let's just say if you want for one day, do one good house cleaning, right? That's what you want to do. You do that, and then you focus on the things that are important. All right. So that's all the angels of abundance are these beautiful high vibrational beings. They bring us this beautiful energy. There is support wherever you go. You're not alone. All right. But remember, you're divinely and spiritually guided. Not only physical, not only the opportunities that you see in front of you, not the things that you see right now, but there's a lot of other stuff going on that you don't understand. With that being said, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. Okay, we're gonna jump into the tarot cards here. And Pisces to Aries, we're gonna look at what challenges when it comes to finances. We're gonna look at what's crossing you, what obstacles are in the way. If you have a question, come on in. Today is August 17th, and I'm gonna give it to you straight one more time. Please believe in yourself, have faith in what you do, strength, you have the courage right now. Be confident, build that confidence. How you build your confidence up? By practicing there's a couple of practices that you can do. And my favorite is mindfulness. All right. When we already know that, wow, I'm here, it's real. This is happening. This happened before. I had luck before. I had blessings before. I experienced miracles. Y'all experiencing them again. Right when we practice mindfulness, we stay focused on what's going on around us. Now the time, date, that's what's very important. Sometimes I get a little off track every once in a while with dates, depending on the moon. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Here we go. From Pisces to Aries in that order. As I pull the energy for you guys, we're going to look with two cards right now and the obstacles, finances. Here we go. A lot of our energy gets intertwined with emotions. If we prioritize, we put sure, you want to jump off already. From Pisces to Aries in that order. Thank you, and thank you. One more. From Pisces to Aries. Wow, I'm ready to jump off. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's go ahead. We are ready, Pisces. We're going to look at what crosses you. Pisces, you got the Three of Swords. All right. Heartbreak. You have to learn how to deal with the conflicted energy that you go through. All right. Heartbreak, betrayal, pain. It causes you, whatever you're going through right now, whether it's a separation from a job, a person. All right. Heartbreak, it constantly messes you up, and you can make really bad decisions when it comes to your finances. All right. So this is a really odd combination because we have 3 and 6, and that is 9. Okay, so I'm seeing things different here because what it is, Pisces, a lot of you guys have a relationship with mothers or fathers. For some of you, if you're a woman, you have a dad that was missing in your life, or you might have a very spiritual father, or a father that was hardly never there and spent a lot of time at work, right? So dealing with a lot of childhood trauma, money, finances, and things like that. Or being the older or bigger sibling, you had a lot of responsibilities, right? So a lot of times, Pisces, when it comes to heartbreak, right? It's hard to get over heartbreak because it affects your mood, your connections to your job, your environment, and things that you have to take care of, especially if you have children. Maybe you married when you was young, right? And you haven't healed the same. You haven't been the same. So you have to find, therapy is very important. Friends that have very supportive, share your feelings, find groups of people that have experienced the same things, right? Or maybe you're dealing with a difficult child at home. It could be anything, or still living at home with mom because of, you've been betrayed, you've been backstabbed, all that energy that comes when you having experiences and learning, right? And because we're here to have the experience. So because of love, you have hurt, and because of love is affecting your money, the money that you're supposed to be making, or your expectations about money. So your heart is between your heart and your mind, all right? Being the emotions that you carry and the things that you have experiences, the things you experience, that childhood trauma, those are affecting, and you make really, really bad decisions when it comes to money. All right. So if I was you, I would get help, find groups, find people, find therapy, and, understand that you are going to heal, that you're going to overcome these things, that these things are part of life, that yes, they are difficult. And a lot of times we cannot make, decisions based on our feelings, because our feelings are going to change, our passions are going to change. We're not going to put expectations on people, having high hopes for relationships to work and being disappointed over and over again. Okay. Some of you guys had to move back home with parents, or maybe didn't get a chance to move out of your old neighborhood. All right. So there's something within the neighborhood, the family dynamics, a parent being an older or younger sibling, right, and having maybe more responsibilities. But at the end of the day, it's because of heartbreak. All right. You're very sensitive, right, and you also want good things for people in the world. And you have this very lovely disposition, very impressionable energy. But at the end of the day, when it comes to your finances, they seem fair and stable because you are living with someone, or you have resources outside of your home that helps you, right? Or you could have, but at the end of the day, it looks beautiful. Okay. So just learn how to deal with heartbreak, meaning that when you understand that, I'm not going to let this situation define me, the person that caused me hurt, try to detach. A lot of times a lot of you guys do compare, your person to other people. Understand that everybody's different. Just learn how to deal with the hurt, what makes you feel insecure, because, of course, love hurts, but it heals. All right. It takes time, and then when it comes to our childhood wounds, it takes a little longer. But when we don't get the help that we need, it shows up later in our lives when we get older. We become very, so that like it morphs into people pleasing, over apologizing, and all those things, right? Like, because we don't want to live our lives like that. We want to be able to, have a straightforward approach, but being reflective of the things that we say, right? And understand that, yeah, life hurts, situations are going to happen. I'm having the experience not to be, so quick to judge the next person because somebody could be really good for you. All right. So just Pisces, understanding these dynamics is very important. All right. Knowing that love does hurt, but it does heal. Love is both. You're going to find pain and you're going to find pleasure. But through these experiences, you're going to learn. This is what we learn. We're here to learn about each other. Now we know what to compare its value to. Because if nothing had value, then you could compare it to anything. So understand that you will heal. So like I said, you got 6 and a 3, and that for me is the 9. And the 9th represents, the spiritual house, and the house has to do with our family, our values, our dynamics. It has to do with higher learning, maybe not getting the education, or maybe marrying, but it has to do with the parents, our connections with our parents. Maybe having a father, like I told you, that was never really there, was a very spiritual father, very strict, right? But at the end of the day, listen, your energy is incredible. It's beautiful. Don't let these past traumas define you. They're not who you were. This is not where you're heading. Creating new neural networks to understand that you deserve better. And through the obstacles, through the challenges, through the heartbreak, through the pain, you persevere. A lot of times we have to go through these pains, right? They're growing pains. That's what they call. And, you come out stronger and better. You're ready to get back out there. Say, hey, listen, even though I've been hurt, I understand. And you have this gift of understanding, which a lot of us really don't understand, that it requires both understanding and knowledge. And that is all about wisdom. Wisdom is the knowledge and understanding that's being applied. And when you take action towards that, you understand that, life is impermanence, and everything has its challenges, okay? And where there's pain, there's pleasure. Am I going to have them? Yeah, I'm going to experience them both. I'm not going to experience them at the same time, but I'm going to have these experiences, and this is going to help me grow. Everything that you go through in life is a catalyst for growth. Everything is to help you. So just get support groups, friends that I have been there. But what you don't do is, right? What you don't do is look at what they got going on. You detach yourself. You got to mute, block. These distractions are out of your life. You move forward. Don't stay waiting for an apology. Don't stay waiting for closure. What if they come back? What if they apologize? You close that chapter. You say goodbye. That's it. If something is meant for you, it'll show up. You don't not chase behind it. You do not give it the time of day, or it ceases. No more crying of what has happened, how much I'm hurt. Yes, I know firsthand what love is. It hurts, but it helps you grow. It hurts and it heals. All right, Pisces, I wish I could have stayed with you a little longer, but when you come in this, remember that you're the first one. So when you click on Pisces, is going to be number 1 after these. I started Aries to Pisces. Let's go ahead into Aquarius. Aquarius, what what's going on right now, and then what is crossing you, what's challenges, obstacles, etc. So basically right now, the same thing as Pisces, too much backstabbing, less confrontation, because it's like this. I'm a good person. Let's just say you saying that to yourself, right? And instead of telling people straightforward, or people telling me straightforward what I did wrong, this passive aggressive energy, right? Because we all been betrayed. We all been this. I'm telling you basically exactly what I told Pisces. This is when we have the opportunity not to avoid, right, communication, but to actually go out to the person and address those situations there. Whether it's somebody from your past that hurt you, because sometimes we need closure, but it's not necessarily expected. You understand me? So instead of going behind people's back and talking about them with other people, it's good to have. It is very healthy, and also I have to express myself, because if now, then this is what happens. We stay with all those thoughts in our mind, and they'll catch up to us later on. They do, and they drain us, because mental exhaustion or emotional hungover, we become so disconnected, or we become so preoccupied or so hurt, or I cannot deal with the pain. How can they did this to me? All right, they did it to you, they do it to other people. It's a circle of life. It goes around. All right. So this is saying that when at its worst, right? I don't see a way out. I don't see how I'm gonna get out of this financial debt, or I keep paying bills or whatever. Because this is mostly to the finances. And according to this card, the Ten of Swords, I've completed. I've done anything. Like there is no dragon to slay anymore. I've done it all. Like the 10, right? Depending on where you are in the Wheel of Fortune, you could be at an energy where you're good. All right. This means I did it all. I've done it all. I'm settled. I'm good. I detach myself from people, places, and things, because I'm focusing right now. But we'll find out what crosses you. Okay. So the Ace of New Beginnings of Healing, socializing. Maybe you have cut socializing, or maybe you need to cut the sociable part of this, right? Because this is a sociable energy. And this represents the Mother Goddess, the feminine, the womb. All life begins here in water, right? We know that. Science tells us that. So we stuck between science and dogma, right? So religious tell you one thing, because nobody really know where life began. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But everything. So that's what the club represents, socializing with people like-minded. Like if you want better connections, or you want to make, find people that have the same goals in view, or even a person. Like I'm not going to change my beliefs, the things that I value. So I'm not going to go and change my value. I'm going to put some respect on the things that I value. I value commitment. I value honesty, respect. And that's what I'm going to go for. I'm not going to keep you around just so I can say I have somebody. No. And if you're doing all these other things, sleeping behind my back and doing blah, 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 and talking to me, that's crazy. No, I'm not doing that. There's not that much. It's not that much love in the world to say to me that I'm going to go and deflate from the things that I value. I have respect on my values, and then your values are your financial, your health, your love, your family, your personal, your professional values, your efficiency, teamwork, innovations, right? Creating new original ideas. You're all about that life. So anyway, so your values are your beliefs, right? And the principles that you believe that are important in the way that you live your life, your work, and that determines your priorities. So organizing those, right? Working towards those things. So I'm just gonna say to you, listen, I'm not staying my value from nobody. Like I will help you if, like, let's just say me, if I was Aquarius, and this person doesn't really have so much. So I already know what I'm in for. What they don't really got it together, and I got to deal with that. So I got to just, a little bit. I got to sway a little bit. I got to step a little bit back, because if it's something new, you got to make sure that this person has the same ideas like you and mine. If not, there it goes. What I value. You throwing your values out the window. The things that you work so far for, they go out the window. Okay? So if you value honesty, integrity, compassion, respect, responsibilities, then you got to stick by those values. You don't sway from them because they look good. I don't care how good you look. It ain't going to pay the bills. I don't care how much you say you love me. It's not going to pay the bills. All right? So when it comes to our responsibility and our finances, right? Let's go ahead to Capricorn. Capricorn, you got the Ten of Wands. I mean, the Ten of Cups. And let's see what crosses you. Okay, so I like this energy for you because you're all about sustainability. My familia, okay? So you got a little bit of both, which I like, and it's a little bit about, right? My family, the values in them, my love and affection, and also making sure that I make money. All right? So maybe not having enough because you have maybe other responsibilities, or having a lot of money because you in the 10th, you represent the 10th house, the mid heavens, right? Having somebody that have my same goals in mind. Like my status is very important, okay? So maybe you do have a lot of money and not a lot of time to be with the family because you're always working, right? So the things that I prioritize, so making sure that this sometimes takes a little bit of, to the side and focus more on nurturing and fostering better connections with your family. But then again, this is go after your dreams, all right, or planting new seeds because this is represents solid connections or finding like-minded groups of people, all right, that are not part of your family, finding people that feel familiar, that have the same goals in view, because this is planting a seed in the material realm, so it will grow. But when you plant it, you gotta network, all right? You gotta find either people in your family or even not your family, people that are in the social scenes, all right? But the Ace of Pentacles is about planting a seed, but that seed needs attention, it needs love, it needs light for it to grow. It needs for you to trust. So when you get money is just an energy effect. So when you get money, what do you do with money? You trust in the money. Do you trust in the money or the value of the money? Or do you trust in the people that work for you or you work for people that you're trying to collaborate? Because the trust is in me. Because I have things that I value my opinions, my work ethics, right? My family, my close relationship as well, my professional values, my efficiency, being able to complete a task effective and quickly, those things that I put value on. So it's all about value. It's all about putting respect on the things that I value. It's all about my work ethics and how far I'm willing to go. All right, have to, because this is how finding the balance between family time and work life. You understand? So if you're working all day, or then you don't have a good balance, and something's gonna happen here. Okay, so make sure you take some time to see the family, connect with people in family that you haven't seen. If that's the case, not work hard and play hard as well. All right, it's hard to keep that balance because then I want this money. It's like, if I don't take care of this is something new, or maybe you go from, you want to go to the next step quickly. Just it could be a host of things. I didn't put no more energy, but crosses you is the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is all about creativity, new beginnings, and planting seeds of abundance. But it begins in because then we could look at it between the practical approach and the emotional approach, right? Do I put so much emotion in it, or I just do practicality, right? Which practical is just more focused on the execution of things. All right, so we could look at things from different perspectives. All right, having a worldview of things and the way you want to spend your money and your time, dividing yourself between those two so you don't get tired. Woo, that got me tired. Let's go ahead to when you understand a little abstract energy, then you'll be like, oh, okay. So it's about prioritizing, So if you got craftsmanships and the quality, you want to produce really, really good, right? Let's say you're building something, you want to be something of quality. Like you don't want to have a lot of, let's say you're making, birdhouses. You don't want to make them, you want to make them really, really good with good quality instead of making a lot that they're going to fall apart. That's how our life should be, building on things of quality. And a lot of times we put in more quality and then we wind up with nothing. You know what I mean? We wind up doing the same thing for nothing. So even if it takes you a year, all right, mastering your skills, okay? Because this is when I prioritize what bring me joy and personal growth, all right, over accumulated material possessions, right? Quality. All right, let's go ahead. I hope you understood that. Capricorn, let's go into, because we're going backwards. Sagittarius, the Five of Cups. What crosses that pain, that sadness, or that emotional hunger is what we call it, or dissatisfaction here. Well, the Page of Swords is the card of learning, right? And it's having a sharp mind and a sharp tongue, but it's a card of gossiping. All right, I'm going to tell you straight up. his focus is, I don't know that if you believe in yourself or you believe the things you're told by people, all right, because this guy's more of an immature energy, right? Because the Page of Swords, he learns, he takes skills, he practices, right? This one is he uses smart. He's got to move quick, okay? It's not so much focus on the material, but it's through, I don't know. I wish I could put a little more energy for you. All right, because this is leaving me a little okay. Because the Five of Cups, when it comes to finances, right, it's at an emotional, right? Am I putting it too much emotional, or am I paying attention to something that is, or do you understand the abstract way of doing things, right? So it's between those two polarities, right? I gotta put more energy. Yeah. Let me go get my other deck because I want to see. I'm not being enough, not having enough knowledge or school or education. Hold on, where in the world is my... Oh, there it goes. Or having support. All right, I just can't. I bring this here. What time we got there? 58. So every time I get the Five of Cups, it's a card of, looking at have much time and what was spent and what was lost, and sadness and passive. All right, and scarcity and the mindset. All right, emotional. Let's go ahead here for Sagittarius. Let's see the energy. They might give it to me again. One more. Sagittarius. One more. Sagittarius. Okay, so you got the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Cups, the Death card, the King of Cups. All right, so that you got two nines here, right, Sagittarius, and that's part of a spiritual path. So if you have to choose between a spiritual path and not finishing something, so this gives to me education or not having the right tools because of this. But this is a mindset of not being good enough or not having the intelligence, but you have it. Okay, so it's just weird for me. But anyway, it could be a cause of emotional connection. All right, because you have the card. Of course, we all know this unfinished business, but if you prioritize perseverance, because this is what it's telling me with this card, right? It's like, why, if you tell somebody, you know what, I'm with you, I'm a go-getter, I like to go after the things that I want, I value perseverance. That's one of in my professional innovating world, because speaks of technology. Talks about skill, learning how to do things, how to use more emotion and put in more emotion, or maybe not having the support that you needed, or right, or always finding yourself with something unexpected always happens to you. All right, I don't know if it's the cause of your own approach to looking at things, because you have worldview here. I mean, the card of perseverance, no matter what obstacles get in my way, I'm going to persevere, I'm going to push forward. But it's like something always gets in the way, whether it's children or lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, or the quality of your thoughts or your thinking, or just goes with love, right? Having my emotions intertwined, or remember when you connect emotionally, right? Because I'm like, what in the world is this? Yeah, the Five of Cups is a card of emotion, it's a card of laws, but it's a card of, because that person usually turns back around and says, you know what? I have still a way long to go. I could still make it. It doesn't take how long, it doesn't matter how long I take to get there, I'll make it there. All right? Even if with the knowledge that you have. And look, I probably get in trouble for saying this. You don't have to go, like, I'm not gonna tell you not to go back to school. If you want to go back to school to get some more knowledge, then go back to school. Don't matter if you're 50, 60, I don't care if you're 70, 80. Go back to school, get your knowledge of it. This is what it is, because this is a Page of Swords. See, he doesn't travel. He's not experienced. He's inexperienced, and he's not yet ripened, okay? This is about the mind being sharp-minded, quick, efficiency. It's all about my efficiency, being able to complete tasks quickly and effectively. All right. If you got teamwork and people behind you, then you persevere. Remember, it's all about that 5 o'clock, this 5 o'clock experience and expression of self-care and affection. All right. It could be fitness, it could be security, not feeling safe with your person, but whatever it is, you could do it. Like, who's telling you can't? That's a problem. People get a certain age and they'll be like, oh, I can't do nothing. I can't learn nothing about myself. Start to read. That's what the pages to source is telling you. You got a sharp mind. Start to read. It expands your consciousness. You have to expand your consciousness. And when you expand your consciousness, you be like, wow, I didn't realize that was this much. That you've been, like, I guess, stuck in your ways and doing things, right? And think, like, you got to change your focus and try new methods. All right? But anyway, wow, that was a lot. All right, but anyway, at the end of the day, it looks good. The 9 of Wands, he's a perseverant, right? He knows there's challenges ahead, but he's prepared, right? And that's a card for me, at least for my understanding. I have a lot, but I like nothing. Okay, let's go ahead. I didn't want to touch this deck because this deck was already, shuffled. All right, so let's go ahead for. Who's this for? I already lost it now. So I did Capricorn, Sagittarius, and Scorpio. Scorpio got the 4 of Wands. And this is for abundance, money, security. So what I'm focusing more here on the value, all right? Because if there was nothing to put value to or to compare its value to, then there wouldn't be nothing, right? It wouldn't be anything. Also, nothing has value, so whatever, right? So if you make it, even here with the 4 of Wands, it's a card of the home, all right? So you have a lot of creativity here, even buying, selling things from the home, doing a business at home, okay? Even if social media, because this is all about following my passions and my spark. Okay, this is about me being super creative, but with the tools I have here in the home, you could use them to your advantage. Okay, this is about seizing every opportunity, but do you do it? Because ancestors, those leaves that are there, that's everything sprouts forth from within. So you have it, and because of our ancestors, right? The leaves represents us individual descendants here. So where do you think all that creativity and looking at things from multiple perspectives, of course, right? Not just your perspective, or just engaging with community online or outside your environment, where you live at, going to organizations and joining in, right? And finding people that are under the same line of work that you do, right? No, I got to turn my AC on. It's so hot, I'm sweating. Oh my goodness, it was so hot. If you guys got a question, come on in. But anyway, like I was telling Scorpio, look, like I told my daughter, right? We all very creative, right? Period. She had an item last Saturday, and I told her, you could make the same thing. I'm not going to say what the item is. I said, you could make the same thing. They charge what for this? A little cup like that. And you kill it. You got your own home. You got your own house. You could build a brand. You could put your stamp. But we could do that here. We buy the LLC, right? We get that paperwork rolling. It's only to find the people that already know what they're doing, right? It's all about networking, finding like-minded people, individuals, connected with individuals that are similar value, all right, that have the passion, that could invest, all right? Finding professionals, because we could have the creative spark because it's in us, right? You think, oh, because they're doing it, so what? You could do the same thing. This is called the circle of life. So anyway, the only thing you change, maybe you put the same thing or the different recipe. It could be anything homemade. It could be T-shirts. It could be, ice cream. It could be anything. Chairs, woodwork, anything that you're good at, anything you're craft, making nails, doing hair, opening a salon in your house. You could do anything. That's the whole thing. All right? I don't care where you at. You can do it. Period. At the end. You could plant a garden and go and sell your vegetables. How do you think a lot of these companies, especially some of the where I live anyway, New Jersey, they got ShopRite. ShopRite buys from their local farmers, right? Plant a garden. Say, hey, listen, go test this out. You have to get out there, or if not, well, then you'll be like, okay. But what's the good thing now that we got social media? But it takes consistency. You gotta be consistent. You can start anything. Oh, I don't want to do that because I think that nobody's gonna. Then that's you saying that. We're creating our reality with our thoughts. The most powerful thing we have is our mind and the gift of imagination. So if you say, oh, it's not worth it, or it's not, or you don't have the time, find the time and stick to it. Okay? Because you have this great ideas. Oh yeah, the opportunity, and you have the opportunity. That's the whole thing. And you have the home. Do you have the resources will show up? Okay, they will show up. They will show up. I guarantee you that they will show up. There are people that are willing to help, give you a helping hand, but that's the what if sets in. Find people that already know what they're doing. You don't have to spend a lot of time. All you can spend the time is getting organized, plan it, have a plan, set it. Set the plan, look at it, okay? So the thing is that we get stuck between them. Should I start buying the product, making the product? If anybody's going to buy it, then I wasted my time. I put 6 months in it. You're not going to know until you try, and then you give it a year. You stay consistent for a year. Start a little bit with, little milestones. Celebrate. Oh, yeah, I did it. I made. So for me, if I wanted to, and I don't like selling and making stuff. That's just not me. My other family members are good at that. They do it for periods of time, and I'm not gonna do it. So if I can't relate to that because that's not where I'm at, right? So if I wanted to sell something, I got the LLC. I'd rather go have somebody for me to go to work. You know what I mean? I had sell LLCs. I had big companies. I went to invent help. I done so many things. I took those chances. But what happened, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money to finish. Share your failures. It's okay. It's called experience. Share them. Hey, I messed up on this. Don't feel like a failure because you're having the experience or you don't know what you're good at, what you're really, really good at. All right? And sometimes if the business don't take up a year or two, man, you're like, man, I'm being stuck here. Like it's ever going to happen. And just right when you're ready to give up, boom. But it takes perseverance. It takes time. It takes learning and it takes adaptation. You got to adapt to different environments, do things, right? Like social media, we can pop on there and, do a lot of stuff. I'm going with something else. You know what I mean? This is a car. You already know what this car is about. All right. So you could do so many things here is what I'm trying to say. I'm being a little discreet. All right. Everything sells. I just want to be clean here. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead with we can do anything. We here, listen, we inside the womb of the earth. Are we here in a simulation? Are we caught up in like we're in the matrix? What the heck are we doing here? We gotta do what we gotta do. We have to have that attitude, that ambition. All right. Be gutsy. All right, be the gutsy and because you have it. All right. So if you don't do it, right? That's up to you. If you settle. The 4 months of the card, I'm settled. I'm happy with my finances. I want to do stuff. You get all these bright ideas. They come. You get this thought pack of information that comes in. You get those aha moments, revelations. They tell you, look, you could do it. It's always thrown at us. And so a lot of good stuff is thrown at us in our mind and a lot of bad stuff. So you're going to have to say, you got to start pruning and get all that stuff. Get out of here. When it start getting real fussy and messy up there. All right, because it could do that. You could, Anyway, the secret of all attraction is that the secret of your actions are your powerful thoughts. Okay? So treat yourself with love and kindness. Be good to yourself. Be good to your mind. All right? Let's go ahead with I'm going backwards. Libra. Libra, the lovers. And what crosses you, Libra, is the hermit. Timid. Not trusting or not reflecting or maybe speaking too soon before you do it. Because the hermit card is a card of what? It's of introspection. but it's a card of reflection, because you want to care for other people, and you go ahead and right and want to be kind and fairness and equality for all, right? When it comes to you, you're a little. That's what it's saying here. All right. So you got two major arcanas. So your situation, the lovers, and then you have the hermit. I become disconnected, or I'm taking time to reflect on the things that I want, what I seek, and what I value. All right. Because if you value here, it's straight up. You value connections, the happily ever after, my Adam and Eve story, creating a big family. All right. And I want to have love and peace and overall peace, quietness. But in order to achieve those things, we have to set some things in motion. We got to have these conversations. We got to confront things that we are uncomfortable with. I don't care if you're timid, shy, reserved, you have to have the conversations. They're uncomfortable. If they were easy, we will all be doing them. No, they're not easy. No, we've been hurt, we've been betrayed. It feels uncomfortable. I'm shy. I don't know what to say. I can't look nobody in the eye. Or when I do, I react quickly. So then, because we set this tone. So basically, when you acknowledge your worth, when you stand with your person, because the love card is about options, but it's also about philosophy. All right. These two people, they don't know that they're naked, right? Until the serpent tells them. The serpent says to them, hey, you guys got a lot of wisdom. You guys are like God. You guys, the better half of a human nature is the angel. All right. This is the Luciferian being, which is the ultraviolet angel, right? That's the one that comes, and blesses them and, opens up their eyes. They awaken, be like, is it true? Am I just like the angel? I have good and bad. I have this, I'm wrestling between these two polarities. The emblematic tree here represents our survival, our integrity, our morality, and it also represents the 12th tribe scenario, or the happily ever after, my soul tribe, who I come in with, the people I'm supposed to meet to life, fight between philosophy, right, and love. The lovers connected. We here and we live mindfully. We aware that because we don't live mindfully, the sun, the connection with our source, our energy, solar power. The apple represents knowledge because it's in that apple. Because, all right, so let me just be honest. A lot of people don't even know, so we were given something through an apple because our evolution from the bonobo, the chimp, right? Because we share a lot of our DNA with them. So we don't really know, was it in the apple, right? Was it alien kids? I mean, really, so we got a lot of this. We got a lot of history. So whether you believe in the Adam and Eve story that, they got kicked out of the garden because they disobeyed God or whatever the case may be, or however the land slopes of emotions, you're going to have to learn how to navigate through all these emotions. The cloud represents confusion in a situation. So you have a lot of heat, a lot of fire, a lot of passion, a lot of wisdom, a lot of things that are hidden from you, right? And then the hermit goes and says, well, you know what? Let me really reflect on that. Because when you marry philosophy will guide you, all your decisions. And then we go into the values of integrity, our financial security, our health, what we prioritize, our physical and mental well-being, right? The love, the experiences that we have. And it speaks to our character and our value, family, the close relationships we have, family member, professional values. Those core values, right? Those things that are important to us. And then go into the spiritual practices of things. But the hermit knows that the answer lies within. He knows. I don't know if he's capable of seeing that light, right? Because he goes and he disconnects because he's not really sure. But then, you're dealing with Virgo, the earth sign, which it's a very practical sign. And because he doesn't really understand the abstract things, the way things work in the cosmos, he has a really hard time to understanding that. His approach to life is very pragmatic. It's very whatever's effective and functional, whatever's working on, I put it together. Boom, I read the book, I study, I go to school, boom, and that's it. Anything else, I don't really understand, so don't even bother to tell me. Oh yeah, I want to learn about it. I wonder what this is, the idealistic nature. Seeing the because we have to have that balance between the idea, because the ideas are there in your imagination, how it's so deeply profound, where you just don't have to go to the book and study something, right? Because you want to be, but you could do it all right? But at the end of the day, this card has a lot of energy that a lot of people don't understand. But Hopefully one day I'll help you to understand. So the sun, right? The sun represents life giver. All right. It represents as you grow, as we prune, as we separate the good and the bad, or the things that are outgrown, that we outgrown, the people, the places, and things, right? But it represents basically our soul tribe, our connection to the divine, our spirit nature, and it got so many other connotations to it. But it's life. It's about having that tenacity, having the opportunities. As the sun says, I appointed each planet in its appointed path. Allow me to do the same thing for you. And then the moon says, let me help you get organized, right? But we don't understand that because it's very abstract, it's very confusing. So to understand those little keys, that's very important. Let's go ahead. My goodness, that was a lot. To Virgo. Is it Virgo? Yeah, Virgos. I'm connected with my Virgo. So you have the King of Wands and you have the Justice card. All right. So the King of Wands, he is confident. He's very idealistic. He's very romantic, right? He understands. So your energy is different here, whether it's you or whether it's your partner, because you got justice here. Fairness and equality for all. Okay, treating people with respect. I value people's their input. I'm impartial. I'm unbiased. Right? I don't put my emotions because a person that's work. You know, like if you're behind the throne here, when you step between these two pillars of strength, and they represent our social systems and things like that. Right? You cannot have your feelings involved in it. You got to see your feelings out. Oh, because you can make judgments based on your feelings, you know, because then that's bias. Oh, well, then you put your feelings in it, so now that doesn't count. We got to dismiss that out of court. So, in a person that is in this situation, he has to be impartial and unbiased as to the things that are going on around the world. He got to look at the evidence. He doesn't got to. So, if there's a hate crime, you know what I mean. So, anyway, I'm gonna get to that in some other day. All right. So what we value justice, equality for all, peace in the world. But in order to have that peace, we have to have passion. We got to find the passion. We have to get, you know, like something happens. It's like something doesn't happen. It has to have an equal value or equal measurement to it. So every action that we take has a positive and equal reaction, right? So if I'm gonna do something that's not of my good nature, my highest nature, I can expect not to get no consequences, or I might not be aware of the law of attraction or the law of the world, the laws of the universe. Because for every action that I'm gonna take, either I'm gonna have something positive or negative, depending on what I did, right? So we got to keep that in mind. So if you're impartial, if you're looking at people for what they look, what they dress, passing judgments, or thinking that some people are better or families are better because they got more money, or however it is, right? This person got to be more educated than this one. When you step into that court system, that judges that everything goes out the window. People that are in position of power, they go to jail. So what I'm trying to say here is, so you're between following your true passion, your connection to your true spirit, or a separation here from your true identity, who you truly are. You know what I mean? So do you follow who you truly are? Do you worry about the judgments, being ostracized? Oh my God, I'm scared to be judged. You know, only God could judge you to be, you know, like, let's look at it that way. So, you know, the physique of you could be, because Virgo represents the girl, right? So you're male here watching, your physique might say that you're the strong man and ooh, but in your inside you feel like a woman, right? You feel nurturing. And that's a great quality to have. Your feminine side, you embrace that feminine side. So it's good to have both this, right? Because this speaks of the masculine energy, right? With the sword, well, they both, right? So you have masculine and masculine, but you need the feminine, which represents her, all right? So her is supposed to be the lady of justice, right? Being blind to faith and things like that, the things that you cannot understand, the divine energy, the cosmos, the cosmic order of things, right? But anyway, at the end of the day, listen, choosing the path that makes you happy, okay? This is when we stand up for what's right, no matter what we see, right? How people dress, not what we like. When we see danger or somebody doing something, of course we're gonna stand up. But being impartial, like, we're not gonna look at the person for what they dress, what they wear, if they got this shoe or they got that. No, ain't nobody better than nobody. We all going to the hole. Nobody better. So you got better education and you live in a better house. That don't make you better than nobody. Get out of here. That's just stupid. All right. When we put other people in this pedestal, we make them feel so grand. Oh wow. This is why a lot of Hollywood is getting cut off. This is why we have social media where everybody's a star. In God's eye, you all are my stars. We all are stars. We all children of God. We all are. And so now everybody have the opportunity to be seen, to be heard, right? To be treated just and fair. All right. And so, you have many people that, like there's so many movies that they got a nominee, but they don't got the award. The same people kept getting the same award over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, what the hell? Now we got Hulu, we got Netflix, we got a lot of the free ones, especially that I watch. Of course, I have some ones that I pay for. Now everybody's a star. Everybody gets an award. We all children of God. We all here for a purpose. We all made it with a divine design in mind. Who the heck you think you are? You know what I mean? We all are. So anyway, building that confidence, right, in yourself and believe in you. All right. How do I build that confidence when there's so much justice or injustices or imbalances? Or how do I feel the balance? And how do I go between the masculine and the feminine energy? Right? Because it's okay to shine in your masculinity. Because if you see your masculinity as narcissistic and you be like, I'm a man, or I feel like a woman, you embrace both sides, how to be integrity, how to go into the middle path, how to find your middle. All right. That's hard. That's a hard battle because sometimes depending on your chart, you might have a little more masculine or you might have a little more feminine and you don't know how to integrate it. You're like, oh, what the hell's going on here? Right. And not how to hate yourself because you find the opposite sex or the same sex attractive. Who cares about that? Right? So this is what we got to really know ourselves, to truly know ourselves, to find ourselves. It's really, really important. But at the end of the day, listen, we have to become blind to the way other people look. We have to become blind to that because if you're in a room and you're like blindfolded, you could pick up by their tone. You don't really got to see what they look like. And let's say if you're blindfolded in a room and somebody starts to speak to you, and when you take off your mask and look at them, you're not attracted to them, but you're attracted to their vibration, their sound, their frequency is nice. And you be like, oh man, I would have never guessed that. That's how we make ourselves look so stupid sometimes. When we judge things based on looks, based on the aesthetics, the beauty of it, instead of focusing on what's important. But we're human. We're gonna go to what's attractive. The hell with that. I got plenty of time to deal with ugly, right? But anyway, I'm gonna leave that there. But anyway, at the end of the day, listen, he's the king of wands. He's confident. He's a leader. So if you value leadership, stand up for the things that you believe, not sway when it's or compromise your integrity when it's important, or break promises to yourself. I could go on and on in this card. I was waiting for this card to come out. But, it's important for us in our performance and learning to become more aware, that the more you work at something, the more you're interested, you practice, you become a master at it. All right. It doesn't happen over time. And so we here in such a limited time with such a limited opportunity here that the last thing we want to do is go ahead and be biased to the things that we don't understand, the things that are abstract. That's none of my business. Oh, great. We become angry because it gets us out of our comfort zone. Hey, now I gotta deal with this. Now we got queer, we got transgender, we got men turning into women turning into men. What the hell is that about? I didn't sign up for that, but this is not your world. The least you could do is be amicable, and if you don't got nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing at all. If it bothers you, then that's your own insecurity. You got to deal with that. All right. I'm not going to start going to social events and gather because there's a man there that decided to change his sex and be a woman. Hey, how you doing, honey? That's it. I mean, it's hard sometimes, the hierarchy in our mind takes over, judges quick, man. And it's sad, but that's one of the realities that we deal with as a human species. And that should be, no, we should be able to be understanding of these things happen. It's out of our control. And that the only one that knows is our divine God. He's still, he it, so we got all different religious or spiritual practices that understand God the divine in a different way. So with the Christianity, what I would say something that I was part of is believing that God, if you study the Bible, that it separated itself from its single being and it created the opposite. It created the dark, and this is it. So we don't know whether, you know what I mean? So we got to be looking a little deeper and not to get so caught up with the abstract, but because you're not really going to understand it, right? So we made from a pool of water from here. How they get from there to there, like life on earth began. But then we'll take another break. Oh my goodness, I had to wet my throat. So, okay. So that was for Virgo. Virgo, build that confidence up. Find your passion. Find what moves you. And if you value you know, justice and equality for all, then speak on that. All right. Find your niche, explore options. And with that being said, I thank you so much. Let's go ahead to, I think I'm going to do two more and then I'm going to be done with it. So we did Virgo. Let's go to, I'm going to skip Leo. I'm going to go to Cancer. No, I'm not. I'm not going to skip, but Leo is going to be quick. Not that I'm not going to leave nobody behind, but if you're not engaging with me, if you're not liking, but I'm not going to give up on you. Everybody, I am the whole wheel. And in my fifth house, I like Leo, and the sun is there. We got Mercury there. It went direct. It's might be there for another week or so. So the Knight of Pentacles. So and the Knight of Wands. All right. So there is finances. Finances could be a little slow, but they'll be improving. So between being impulsive and like buying and going on impulse, leaving, because that's what this one does. I like the Knight of Wands because the Knight of Wands, he jumps from one creative endeavor to the next, a next idea to the next, which is in a way is good, right? But he does a steady job. He's steady and reliable at the same time. All right. So we all want the Knight of Pentacles. We all want somebody that's steady, that's reliable, that got great work ethics, that is focused on building a long-term financial security. All right. But at the end of the day, could you be going into this rut? Could you be just, not having enough fun? So they're asking you here, it's okay to take a break and have some fun. It's okay to go out. And this is the thing, that having idealistics and that being idealistic and being open-minded, right? Having a broad sense of the world around you is important. And finding freedom, valuing freedom is important. Not keeping yourself stuck or not keeping yourself constrained to, to go out and explore. It's okay to be the one that people depend on, and having this approach in life is great, being efficient and all that, but it's also good to be wild and explore things. It's okay to look at things, broad-minded, open-minded. It's okay to, use your creative expressions and, to be opinionated, to be a little not pushy, but to be a little assertive, right? It's okay, is what they're saying to you. But according to this card, your finances look good. They steady. You could rely on you. You don't probably need nobody to rely on and depend on, maybe to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, it looks good. Leo, all right, the money's coming in and everything is going great. Could be a little boring, you're very routine, you follow all the rules, right? But they're asking you to assert some, get out there, get gutsy is what the word is for me. Gutsy, get into the rhythm of things. All right, get out there and have fun, right? So let's go ahead with Cancer, and then I'm going to leave it there. Cancer, let's see your energy. Cancer, you have the High Priestess. When it comes to your finances, when it comes to your, I'm sorry, hold on a second. My son is calling. I'm sorry, I had this. I think I don't know if I pressed it. All right, I hope that you. I'm back. Okay. Oh, my son, my son. All right. So Cancer, you have the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is a card of mystery. All right. We got Boaz and Jansen, the two pillars that sit on the front of the pillars. I mean, at the front of the Solomon's temple. So that's a miss. That is a mystery. Who's Boaz? Who's Yakin? Right? Who those two names represent? Who is God? Right? So the negative and the positive, the yin and the yang. These are representation of God itself. All right. So when God created from itself, He created its from its single being, according to the first five books of the Bible, the Torah. He created light. He created dark. He created these two opposites, severity and mercy. Right. Once you enter these holes here, this is when you're supposed to be illuminated, or you're supposed to be transformed. And see, the things here, Cancer, that this energy with the waxing crescent, right? So if you come here, you're gonna learn something today. So the waxing crescent, that represents the low tides, right? And so when the moon is on the waxing crescent phase, that means that the ocean, the tides are really low. So emotions are you're gonna be running really low. The waxing, I mean, between the waxing crescent and the waning crescent, right? But this waxing crescent represents that the emotions are really, really high. So you go between really, really high and low emotions, right? But the high priestess, when it comes to your finances, despite of you being financial, see, these priests made a lot of money. They, the priests of the time in Jesus' time, during the Torah, they were really hard under pressure. They have really good work ethics, very, like, they were really disciplined in writing, in esoteric in writings, that they had to write this Torah, right? Some of them, it was difficult, but they understood the esoteric. They understood the Torah, but they had no knowledge of the moon. They did everything by the book. All right. So some of you guys, so this is telling you, you want to make a purchase, you want to do something, don't do it now. Now it's not the time. Now is the time, because you did something before that you might not do again. Or you might be missing some credits or some skills when it comes to your job. All right. But you're like, you should be fine with this card, because this card is saying, although you could be lacking some valuable information. See, because the Torah doesn't give you but only 5. You may have 5 credits or missing 5 credits. The first 5 books of the Bible, which is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers. So it stops there. That's the Pentateuch. That's the Jewish Bible. That's the first 5 books of Moses, right? But it's missing information. So that's an invitation to either you want to go back to school, you want to do something in the near future, but now they're asking you to gather more information, because you're going to have to go down deep. See, and they're also asking you to the lack of superficial information. All right, because remember, this book is not thorough. It's missing so many other elements. This is just one part of the story. It's a one-sided story. So then don't listen to the information that is given to you as of, okay, this is it, there's nothing else. No. All right. Because behind the veil, there's a whole ocean, there's a whole vast of consciousness waiting to be discovered with all life sprung out of from the ocean. All right. So going down deep is what this is saying. Basically, it's telling you, follow your intuition. If you really want to know something, you gotta go down deep, but you could do it through the cycles, through the moon phases, because the moon is all about helping you get organized. All right. So you might be trying to manifest doing things here that are not going appropriate with, or they're going against you. You understand me, Cancer? the high priestess card is very hard. Like nobody really can. It takes an amount of work to really figure this card out, because this card, if you're not really paying attention, she has to let those cycles, between cycles, and the phases between the waning, the waxing crescent, and the full moon and the new moon to the waning crescent when it's mature. So, all right, because what says when the tides are really, really low, there's no emotion. All right, you shouldn't. There's no motion. You're not gonna get as much as you want. All right. So when it comes to your future, your finance, it looks good. Like I said, she works hard. She's very dedicated. She works under pressure. This is what these priestesses, these high priestesses did. They wrote the Torah. They had to sit there and encode it. So you were good with numbers and encoding things. You're very good. So if you don't, if you got to go back, the only thing I could say to any person that's watching when it comes to the high priestess, if you're not good with math, go back and finish your degree in math, because these people, right, they had to write things in codes. They know this. See, we don't know that they know this, but they know this. But another thing with the high priestess, she's telling you, listen, you told your subconscious mind that you didn't want something. Your subconscious mind takes everything literally. There's things that you have told yourself, and now guess what? Because in your subconscious mind, you probably forgot about it. You could use a compensator, a meteor, or rock to rub to your back, or to get your subconscious. There's a lot of tools that you could use to remember the things that because you're disconnected from this cross, right? The cross represents the earth, the circumference. It represents the four sides of the earth, and the earth makes this wobble, and it makes this cross, and it brings us, as it goes through this wobble, it brings us from seasons to seasons. And when we disconnect, when that cross, which represents the earth, right? Because the moon is so, it rotates the earth, right? So we got to understand that we have to stay on top of things. We got to stay connection and watch our moon cycles, all right? It's very important. Moonlighting, paying attention to that. Paying attention to the moon, that ride, the highs and the lows, all right? Because you might disconnect from something. You might do something when it's not time, and it's going to cost you so much time. Or even again, you might have created another reality, living another life in another not dimension, in another parallel, what they want to call the parallel universes. And you might not be aware of that, and you can't even live the life that you want here because you created it over there. So this is why we got to be careful, all right? And you be like, man, why can't I get that? Why can't this happen? Because you lived it already, or you have it somewhere. You got to shut it off over there. You got to watch what you think. Our thoughts are powerful. You creating stuff all over the place. Don't even know about it. So you got to change your focus. That's why mindfulness is so important, to stay in the present so we can focus on here. So we could disconnect. Everything just leaves. When you don't, because you're feeding energy. When you're feeding energy, you're moving that energy. Yeah. Oh, I like that over there. Oh, I wonder, that feels so good over there. That feels so good. Yeah, you got relationships all over the place, or jobs, but you're not really enjoying the one that's right here in front of you. You got to do it here. So you got to be careful. All right. You created all these scenarios, and you think that that's nothing, but you are doing it. And you feed that energy, feed that energy, feed that energy, feed that. That's what the moon says. Child, let me get you, help you get organized. And we walk around like, oh, nothing. We have to pay attention to these cycles. It's very crucial for not just Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, not the water signs, because all life can evolve, our evolution as a species, from the single cell, from the chemical strings, from that single cell organism, to what we hear now as a human species. Well, our evolution, it ended with the bonobo, the chimp, and we don't know what happened when the pomegranates represent our life. The fruit, the womb, the uterus, all that stuff. You understand me? So when there's life here in front of you, how to create life, how to give life, and how's life behind you, okay? And our deepest desires, our emotions are there intertwined. But at the end of the day, right? Like the crab. Like Cancer, you represent the crab. The crab is the giver of life. The crab got to travel all the 3 weeks. It got to get there before the first quarter moon. Because the moon sets a signal. It got to get there. The red crab from Australia and the Christmas Island. It got to get there. It got to travel. And then when it gets there, it got to release those eggs. And they got to get there simultaneously. They're going scrambling to get there. This is why it's a protected species. All right, because it represents so much life as they travel. They travel through these wood, well, from the caves and the mountains and the burrows. They travel through gas stations. They travel through they cross bridges. I don't think they cross bridges. They travel through town. They travel through golf courses. They travel, they just travel to get there, and they know how do they know that they have an appointment that they cannot miss? The moon, okay? The influence that the moon has on the earth, and as it's pulled between the sun and the earth energy, as it pulls us into these cycles, right? The moon has a big influence in the way we connect here with life. So because we're not organized or we don't understand it, because this one is focused on religion. This was focused on the material realm. This one has a pragmatic approach. All right. This one, anybody could fit this energy. This could be a Taurus. This could be a Gemini. This could be a Libra. Okay, we all channelers by nature, but we don't understand it. Okay, we all move scanners. We scan. We get suspicious. That's what we do. That's what we do. We can't help it. We broadcasting everywhere at all times. But we look at the Torah. The Torah doesn't give you the devil. Nobody can really understand the first 5 books of the Bible. Genesis, Lexus, I would say. Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers. Nobody really understands that. What is that? When the Christian, from the explanation of their point of view, right? From the Christianity viewpoint, when God created from its single self, he created light, he created darkness, and he created light. He created these 2 pillars of strength. And when we walk through these pillars of strength, we are confident that we're going to meet with God, that we have a connection to the divine, right? So this is really, really deep, y'all. So I'm going to leave it there because... All right? So Cancer, let's see what forces you. So you got money, you're there, you're stable. Even if you feel like you don't have it, or you're not sure of the job you want to keep, or you require credit, or you did whatever you think you did in the past, right? Don't be so quick to, all right? Yeah. We all are scared. We all could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We all are so scared of losing our, even back to the between feudalism that ended a couple of thousand years ago, right? Yeah, I think about 1,500 years ago. So bottom line is, we all are scared to lose our resources. We all are scared to wind up homeless. We all a paycheck away. So let's be humble. Let's be kind. Let's share our resources with others. Let's not be scared that we're going to get $5, $10, $20, $100, depending on what income. Let's just share our resources. It's here for the common good. We all are scared, or we don't want to we're dependent on nobody. But at the end of the day, like, we got to look at it like this. Whether you get government assistance or not, because we could say, oh, I didn't ask to be here. What the hell am I here? What I got to suffer? As not me saying it. I don't want you to say I said it. This is what, ancestors, people that say that we chose our path. We chose these challenges, our soul's journey. We did that design. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to go dig in here to see, because, So anyway, listen, you don't have nothing to worry about. We all struggle with, being homeless with my kids, or being homeless altogether. But I guarantee you, and I tell you right now, Cancer, that you don't have nothing to worry about. You just as good. You're good. See how long the Taurus has been around? That's how long your financial security is going to be around. Always look at it. It's just obvious, because the Taurus has been around how many? 2,500 years or something like that. All right, maybe a little bit over that. Your money's going to be around. You're going to be okay. And listen, God always makes a way. However you connect to God of all that is and all that will ever be. When you step into those pillars, when you step into that, when you pray, whether you even read the Bible, when you understand it, when you ask for support, when you pray, when you kneel down and you say, please help me, connect, just connect. All you got to do is connect. All right? There's a whole vast of information of consciousness, ways to be discovered for you to tap into the universal energy and connect with it. You connect to the moon, when you connect, you're like, where is this coming from? Why is this divine intervention? Why is this things happening? Your relationship with love, your relationship with money, that you're never going to lack. And there's already infinite being bestowed upon you, the blessings of God continuous blessings upon us. Oh, but if we worry or we become suspicious of acts of kindness, right? Or we don't give some of our resources and we stop connecting or we stop giving because we're scared. It got $5 are gonna make a difference. That $5 is gonna get multiplied, right? Or even when it comes to love, we want love, but then when somebody gives it to us, we become suspicious. Oh, I wonder what they want. That's an angel. Those are angels. God's providence is among us all. It's saying to you, you know what? You could have this. You need this hug, or you need this friend, or you need this laughter, or you need somebody might buy you a meal, or whatever the case. Or you do, you pay that back. All right. We get so caught up with worry, with following every rule, with being so distant, being so serious. Life is meant to be lived, not to be endorsed. It's not meant to be sacrificed. It's meant to be lived and live purposefully and with compassion and being responsible and respect our decisions. Respect, put some value and put some respect on the things we value. Damn it, if I value kindness, I don't want to be with somebody that's kind. I ain't gonna go because they got money and they all sore and nasty. And I'm not gonna be with that. Hell no, but everybody get their 2 or 3 days. You could be an asshole for a few days. If I value kindness, if let's just say I don't really put a lot of responsibility on the real, well, I don't expect that person to be responsible, right? Especially if you meet somebody younger than you, right? You'd be like, wow, they're not gonna be so responsible. They look good. They look good in my arms. So I already know they're not responsible. They kind as hell and they look good. They could be a little compassionate, but they don't have that. Oh, I'm gonna help them. I will help them to get organized and be a little more responsible because they're learning. Shoot. All right. You look good in my arm. You understand, ladies, gentlemen? I'm gonna help you. I don't care if you're not that responsible with money. You loyal because we want a whole list. We want the whole shebang, and it don't work like that. We're not built like that. We build to learn. This is what we built for, and we built with a deciding mind, and we all get this divine intervention. That we get opportunities. The universe is always blessing us. Ancestors are there guiding us. Say, hey, wake up. This is what's coming towards you. You got blessings. All right, but we need discipline, right? We need that firm hand. All right. And we need that masculine energy. We need that protection, and we need to, have a little more security and more planning, so we can pursue with innovation and create new original ideas, right? Goals that without, we aligned it with our purpose in mind. Like I have a purpose and what's your purpose? So even if you meet somebody, like you could fall in love with somebody and there goes my damn plans and my dreams. Damn it. Because now you don't fell in love. And then they don't have no ambition and they don't have no responsibilities. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to be chaos and problems. All right? It's going to be I would have ended this life a long time ago. But what I want to say to you, listen, you're with somebody and the minute that you get the minute you get the magician and you're chasing behind them, you lost. My video is going to end right there. That's why I don't do readings because I'm going to start doing them maybe tomorrow. I might throw a little because once you see the magician and you chasing behind him, you don't chase something. That is kind of specifically telling you have the tools to manifest. You have your mind, which is incredible. Every thought that you make, you have the cup. Okay, the cup represents my emotions, and what is inside that cup is life. The water, okay, the water represents healing. You will bring healing, okay. The way you speak, the sword again. All right. The pentagram represents us here, like our human nature, the soil from the earth, right? The sun's energy. You have vitality and strength in that, sustainability. And what is the other one? The one. Structure, discipline. I will help you get discipline. All right. You got ancestors running through you. Your instincts. Everything's your instincts and your intuition. Man, it's just so deep. So when I see that card, I say, "Oh, so you chasing them? Get out of here! You don't want them. All right. Anything that you love, you set free, and you move on with. And I know it hurts, and you move on, and you be like, man, I know, man, it felt so good, and I can't believe it's over. That happened to me. Oh, my last relationship. I could just share a little bit of that. And Devin, he was so good. Oh my goodness. I think he was a couple of years younger than me. My goodness. Man, and I was like, man, this has got to be it. But I've done so many but I wasn't aware of it, because we all in the survival, the state to survive. And man, but I kind of didn't want to be with him because he was like, "Oh, I want to try to move in," and I'm like, "Well," and he was a drinker anyway. But man, I not that I loved him. I really was really affectionate. But then I'll share that story another day when we get to know each other better. All right, guys. So if you come through here, I got up to Cancer. I'm sorry. I only got two people here, I believe. Thank you for the one that showed up, or even YouTube just opening to see how I operate here and why people are not liking the videos. I'm very patient. I'm waiting till you guys to get there. I know I have to use a little bit more knowledge by the time I shuffle the cards and get into the comparing thing, because it requires when it's something abstract or words that you haven't formulated to understand, right? Especially for earth signs. Not that any sign is not, understanding the concepts or the analogy, the abstract thinking, or the way I explain things, because it could be very confusing when you're so limited. You have limited your identity to just a certain groups, and it's great. Everybody's trying to help everybody. So I'm gonna try to go a little bit more so you can understand, like making more analogies and things like that. But that takes time. I could write a book in the time that I'm explaining. Look, 2 hours here, and I love showing up here for you guys. So just give me some time. Make sure you like your videos, comment. I'd rather just go live, and so I can explain. It's not only about the focus on the tangible things, right? And the ideas that I have to be grounded in this reality to get to the things that I want, right? You know, it's all about raising my awareness, raising my consciousness so I can get to the next level. All right. And that's what is mostly for me as a reader, as an educator, when I have educated myself for the last 2.5, 3 years to understand that, we all are connected as we see ourselves as separated individuals. My connectivity to you, all 12 signs and other people that come across, is just like talking to it's just like talking to myself, and it's the weirdest crap, and I know it. And the other side of you is love, right? So let's be kind, let's be humble, and let's work hard, but not too hard. All right. Forgive, you know, adapt, be a little more flexible. I mean, and just try to create more balance in your life so you can have fun doing the things. Don't take yourself too serious, but don't be serious enough not to do anything. So we are built, we are built strong. We have a divine designing plan, and with that energy, let's be steady with our words. Let's keep, let's just be more productive. All right. With that being said, I let you guys go. Thank you. God bless us, and see you guys all in the next video. The next live.